Voting systems. UK national and local elections in Wales give you a say in who represents you. But to make sure your voice is heard, it's good to understand a few basics about how elections work. At each election, every voter is given a ballot paper. This ballot paper lists all the candidates, which is what we call people standing for election. This ballot paper also provides simple instructions on how to clearly mark your choice. You'll get to make your choice in secret, and then your ballot paper will be counted to work out who has been elected. Voting systems affect how candidates are elected and set out the rules for how your vote is counted. Closed proportional list system. In Senedd elections, we use a voting system called a closed proportional list system to elect members of the Senedd. This system is a form of proportional representation. Proportional representation means the number of candidates elected for each political party roughly matches the number of votes received. In this voting system, you can vote for a political party or for an independent candidate. A political party is a group of people who share similar ideas about how a country should be run and work together to achieve their aims. An independent candidate is someone who runs for election without being part of a political party. Each party has a list of people they want to get elected, and that list is in priority order with the candidate they most want to get elected at the top. The people at the top of the list are elected first. The more votes a party or independent candidate gets, the more seats they will win. Your local area is called a constituency. Each constituency is represented by 6 members of the Senedd, or MS for short. When voting in a Senedd election, you choose the political party or independent candidate you want to represent your constituency in the Senedd. You will have a single vote and will be given one ballot paper. Simply put an X in the box next to your choice of political party or independent candidate. Make sure you read the instructions on your ballot paper and ask the team at the polling station if you need help. The ballot paper will still show the list of candidates for each political party. But remember, you are voting for a political party or an independent candidate, rather than specific candidates on a party's list. The ballot papers are then counted to work out who's been elected. For example, if you live in Aberystwyth, your Senedd constituency is Ceredigion Penfro. If political party A gets 50% of the votes in your constituency, they will likely get 3 of the 6 seats. If political party B gets 30%, they will likely get 2 of the 6 seats. Then if an independent candidate has enough votes, they will win the final seat. These 6 candidates become the MSs that represent the Ceredigion Penfro constituency in the Senedd. This means seats in the Senedd will be decided based on the share of votes each party receives. First past the post. We use a voting system called First Past the Post to elect members of the UK Parliament, or MPs for short. In most areas of Wales, we also use First Past the Post to elect local councillors, who look after issues specific to your local area. When you vote in an election which uses First Past the Post, you'll be given one ballot paper. The instructions on the ballot paper will tell you how many people you're allowed to vote for. At a UK Parliament general election, you're allowed to vote for one person. Simply mark an X in the box next to their name. When the votes are counted, the candidate with the most votes is elected and will represent you and your local area. At some Welsh local council elections, you may be allowed to vote for more than one person because more than one person will represent you. So make sure you read the instructions on your ballot paper. Simply mark an X next to the names of the candidates you want to vote for. Once the votes are counted, the 2, 3 or 4 candidates with the most votes are elected. Single transferable vote. In Wales, we can use a system called single transferable vote to elect local councillors in Wales who look after issues specific to your local area. The single transferable vote system is a form of proportional representation. Rather than one person representing everyone in a small area, bigger areas elect a small team of representatives. These representatives reflect the range of opinions in the area. When voting in an election which uses the single transferable vote system, you'll be given one ballot paper. The instructions on the ballot paper will tell you to rank the candidates in order of preference. Marker 1 next to your first choice, 2 next to your second, 3 by your third, and so on. You don't have to put a number next to every candidate on the ballot paper, but the impact of your vote could be limited if you only make 1 or 2 choices. The numbers tell the people counting to move your vote if your favourite candidate has enough votes already or stands no chance of winning. To get elected, a candidate needs a set amount of votes, known as the quota. The people counting the votes work out the quota based on the number of seats available and the total number of votes cast. Counting takes place in stages. Each time, the people counting are looking to see whether a candidate has reached the quota of votes they need to be elected. If not, the person with the lowest number of votes will be removed from the race. For example, once the first round of counting has finished, any candidate who has more number ones than the quota is elected. But rather than ignoring the extra votes this candidate received above the quota, these votes move to each voter's second favourite candidate. Once the second round of counting has finished, if no one reaches the quota, then the least popular candidate is removed. People who voted for them have their votes moved to the second favourite candidate. This process continues until every position is filled. This shows how important all your choices can be when voting in an election using single transferable votes. If your first choice candidate doesn't get elected, or if they are elected with a lot more votes than the next candidate, your vote can still be used to help elect your second choice. Your vote could be moved around many times, playing a part in electing some or all of the positions in your area. Don't forget that if you're unsure about how to cast your vote, you can always ask for help. Speak to a member of the team at the polling station or get in touch with the elections team at your local council. Find out more at electoralcommission.org.uk/learning.